Welcome to the Halloween special on Camping with Steve. Today we're heading to a ghost town in the desert that's actually called Steveville, believe it or not. So we're heading out there because that sounds spooky, so we're going to check this out. Don't pet that guy. So Steveville turns out to be in the heart of Alberta's Badlands. So it's kind of a deserty, aridy, rattlesnakey area, and as long as we don't set up our tent on a rattlesnake hibernaculum, we should be okay for the night. It is getting to that hibernation stage though, so they shouldn't be too active. And this is the ghost town of Steveville. Sweet. My purpose in life is to buy this town. It seems to be all fenced off like private land, and there's a cattle farmer there. So, oh, and my favorite signs to see is those no trespassing signs. So sun is fading quick. We're gonna get this tent set up and then we'll do some exploring tomorrow, because it was about 4-hour drive to get here from where I live. So it was a bit of a drive today, but we'll do some exploring tomorrow. And oh man, there's cows all over the place. Yeah, we'll get the tent up. So yeah, I was expecting some more buildings in Steveville. It looks like somebody just bought the whole town and it's their property now. But there is a campground here. The map was correct. And not just that, but it's like the creepiest campground I've ever seen in my life. Completely abandoned, open at the end of October, and free. So this is awesome. I'm gonna get the tent set up, and it's gonna be real cold tonight, like minus 15. So I'm gonna have to definitely get hunkered down tonight. Yep, we're just going to explore around the campground a little bit before the sun goes down. And I thought it was completely empty, but somebody's just pulled up with their pup. So I'm going to look in this little camp shack here and see what is happening in Steveville. Holy moly. It's kind of neat. Okay, our heater is not working. It needs some maintenance. So we're gonna book it into the closest town called Brooks, and we're gonna pick up a new heater there, because this is just gonna be pretty unbearable overnight without any source of heat. And I have the wood stove, but I don't want to use that because we have to keep waking up every couple hours to throw wood in it. So booking it into town before they close at 9 o'clock. I'm gonna grab a new heater, get back to the campsite. We picked this thing up. Beautiful wife is with me on this trip. We have our nice hunkered down bed here, all set up. Just a couple of cots with foamies and a bunch of blankets on it. This thing is great because it's about minus a dozen outside right now, Celsius. And my old heater, this one died on me. I have to do some maintenance on it to get it working. This was about half of the strength of this much more powerful one. So from the feeling, it feels just about right, because I can see the frost here building up already. So for those who don't know, we've got the carbon monoxide alarm ready to go off if there's any issues. And we got our light going with the Jackery portable power pack. It's just your standard portable power pack, but yeah, it is outlandishly cozy in here. And we're gonna head out to start the fire and do a little tour around the campground in the dark on this spooky Halloween, and I might even throw on a costume. Oh, it is very cold out here. So, I'm gonna start a quick fire. There's a little bit of wood here from these cottonwood trees in the park, but I brought a little bit of actual split firewood, so we'll get this started, then light up our pumpkins, finally enjoy a step 2, and we'll be camping pretty good tonight. Finally, a step 2, which is normally earlier on in the progress of the evening. But this is a certainly spooky campground. Out here, beautiful wife has came along with me. She prefers to remain off camera because YouTube is not everybody's jam. And I understand that, of course. So I got to give a big shout out to all the people that made this possible. For beer donations, which today have turned into basically the Canadian version of a Bloody Mary, which I'll show you about when we get back in the tent, because this is pretty freaking cold out here. So all these people here have really made all this possible. We figured there'd be nobody else here. Somebody did pull up, and they're being quite patient with us with all these lights and cameras and pumpkins and carrying on, etc. So we will head inside in a bit. I'm going to enjoy another step 2 out here, and we'll poke around a bit, maybe see what's happening out here, and cook up a good meal. And now you're camping with Steve. Exploratory cold night adventure in Grapey Town. What I really wanted to come take a look at was this cook shack, and it's been pretty severely vandalized, and some of it actually looks like this is a makeshift daycare, but we're gonna explore this tomorrow. And I got some washable marker. I might just oh, great, wolves are out. Coyotes. I think it's about time to go make dinner and hunker down, so to speak. Just starting dinner, and nothing scarier than Spam, and that's what we're gonna eat. And we're gonna make our Canadian Bloody Mary, which is, we use gin, and instead of tomato juice, clamato, and that's kind of what we do. We call it a Caesar here. So we're gonna mix up some of that, get this guy going, and then we're gonna be in business and everything's going to be just fine. For this recipe, beautiful wife chopped up the Spam into small particles, and wow, it smells like cat food. We're following a recipe, and the first step is to boil some pasta. So here we go. Third of a pound worth of pasta, I think. Put in as much as I can to water down the taste of what the Spam is smelling like right now. And some people may have fond associations with Spam. Unfortunately, for me, I really don't. So, just boiling. Then we'll continue on to step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pasta's cooked. The next step of this recipe is you need a frying pan. So I'm going to whip it out. And a little butter. So I'm going to put a chunk or two on there. And if you're curious about this recipe for some reason, and I really don't know why you would be, but if you are, it is the only recipe on Google that mentions the words Spam and scallions. We don't have scallions due to the fact that our grocery stores are a little out of season on them, so we're just gonna put some onions in here. So little onions, a little butter, and that's the way it all begins. Save some of these for an omelet in the morning, and then we're gonna get to this cat food in a second. And yeah. Here we go. I hate to admit it, but this smells pretty good. So the remaining ingredients I gotta throw into the pan. Cat food Spam. Ugh. Sticks to the plate. That's always a good sign. Always a good sign. Okay, cat food Spam. Red pepper flakes. I'll put in a pretty generous dash of that. And sugar, because we're caramelizing this stuff. And turn the heat down a little. And dump in a little sugar into there. We're going to mix this up. And hope for the best, guys. Hope for the best. Beautiful wife is just laughing. Okay. So what I need from you is pasta and that water thing. That actually does not look very offensive, so I'm happy with this. And we got some pasta to throw in there that we cooked earlier, of course. Alright, yeah, we cooked that a fair bit earlier. And good thing we got this pasta water to rehydrate this. Yeah. This is the camping meal of all time, featuring Spam, the questionable,
scariest,
spookiest, campiest thing. But I took a little taste of it. Prepared like this, it wasn't too bad. So we will continue on with this guy. Okay. Kill it. Here we go. Beautiful wife has decided not to take a bite of this experimental, spammy, spooky dinner, but it's surprisingly good overall. I have no issues with this. I would make it again. Pleasant surprise. Dinner was surprisingly delicious, and of course dessert is pumpkin pie, and we're about to give this slice of pumpkin pie a real dose of reality here. Now we're talking. See, that's what life is all about when you're hunkering down with Steve. Oh yeah, that's the way it should be. We're gonna hunker down, so to speak, and then in the morning we're gonna check this place out a little bit more. Good morning. That was actually pretty warm last night. That bigger heater definitely did the job. I had to wake up and turn it down to half power. As a matter of fact, it was that toasty in there. So we made it through the night without a snake slithering in and biting us, without that other camper coming over to kill us. It was a fully successful night. And I'm going to check out the river down there, and I'm going to vandalize that camp shack with washable marker. I'll just put Steve hunker down or something. And we are just on the very corner. I think we're actually in Dinosaur Provincial Park. And that's a big thing around here because they find so many dinosaur fossils in this park. And the Drumheller is close by. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of these places, but there's a lot of dinosaur activity here. In fact, there's hundreds of dinosaurs per square inch in these valleys here, and they're constantly finding new dinosaurs all the time out here. So, you know, a million years ago, there'd be some humongous, bloodthirsty, roving T-Rex just in the bushes back there, ready to come and gobble us up. But thankfully, we don't live in that prehistoric time. Out here, a lot of people are coming through. They seem to be rubber tramps or van lifers, you know, people coming through, camping for free for the night. There's a lot of those in here for a good time. Oh, that's so inappropriate. But yeah, there's one over here. Actually, it's kind of cool. 1 year cancer free. That's awesome. So there's a lot of traveling through here, and time to put my mark.
Love, look.
Where? Oh, Supertramp was here, and Joe Homeless. Yeah, seems to be a well-known little spot in the homeless traveling circuit. So I'm going to put, let's see. Okay, there we go. And plus wife. Oh. Beautiful. Beautiful wife. There we go. This is the whole reason Steveville even exists. There used to be a ferry right here going across the Red Deer River, and hundreds of people died trying to cross this river, probably. And then they put in a bridge, and that kind of killed the town. So next stop is a great little oasis spot that we found in the area, and we'll take a little peek at Dinosaur Park, but we're gonna pack up and then go make our breakfast at another little park in Ghost Town area. And look at this. Litter bugs everywhere. Holy moly. Yeah, this is like the first tree or remnants of a tree that we have seen in about an hour going down this highway. So it is pretty barren. Kind of looks like you'd expect to see Uncle Rico throwing his football around out here with his camper. But there's a lot of little abandoned stuff in this area. This whole section of the province is just ghost town, ghost towns, ghost towns, ruins, everything else. This is a nice little campground out here, kind of an oasis in the desert. There's a dam there and a reservoir, and it's a cute little lake. There's a little lighthouse in it. But there's a swing. There's some joker twisted that seat around one of the poles, but we're gonna cook some food here and then get back home. I like this little butane stove. Does the job. It's light and it's small. Butter up the pan here, and then go our potato pancakes. Part of a complete breakfast. Oh yeah. While this is cooking, I will tell you the spooky story of how I met beautiful wife. It was at a cemetery, actually. Both of us worked there for the summer. And I did mention this, I think, on a live stream once, but for people who don't know, yeah, we met digging graves. We actually dug a grave together the first day we knew each other. And of course, I got fired because I was a little bit of a troublemaker there. And that's the spooky history of how we met. So if you're liking these videos, please subscribe. All your wildest dreams will come true. And we're always up to stuff like this. And it's going to make this get right back into town to edit this for the Thursday Halloween special. Thank you guys for coming along. And stay cool. Till next time, you're camping with Steve.